And we should be live.
Not seeing it on the page.
Oh, you just sent a Facebook thing.
Oh, yep, we are live on Facebook.
And I got an email from the PDS Podcast. Good evening, everyone.
Hello, guys.
29 people watching already.
Wow, this is better than episode 1's live stream.
No kidding. How's everyone doing tonight? You're going to have to type in the comments to let us know or ask your questions or what.
Yeah, so we don't really have a baseline for today's live stream. It was basically just to give you guys a chance to ask any questions you might have or even give us suggestions or anything like that in regards to the PDS podcast. So, hey, Louise, sorry if I pronounced that wrong. So that's good. Facebook comments are showing up here.
That's perfect.
Good evening, Evan.
I'll let you do the good evenings.
Hello, Deanna. Hello, Alicia. So yeah, as I was saying, just kind of here to chit chat and see if you guys have any questions, anything like that. Hello, Jill, and thank you. Hello from Churchill. What's it like up in Churchill right now? I don't want to pronounce your name wrong. Jemima. Hey, Barb. Thank you.
Should be getting some pretty awesome northern lights up in Churchill.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm jealous. I wish I could be up in Churchill. Hi, May. And hello, Beth from North Dakota. Hello, Sandy from Winnipeg.
So I don't know if everyone knows, but we've been kind of spamming everyone with our marketing, letting people know about the new podcast, and it actually dropped this morning. You can go to basically any of your podcast players at all. Jordan got the rest of them hooked up today, and you should be able to find us. We're in episode 1 where we talked with Michaela Iwasik. She's a pretty badass chick, and we were lucky enough to get her for episode 1, which was phenomenal.
And yeah, if you don't want to listen to it on a podcast app, the video version itself is also available on Facebook and YouTube.
Hey, Joe.
Sure, you've probably seen it on the page, but if not, when you're done here in this live stream, feel free to scroll down and check it out.
Yes, Paul, you are correct. I'm watching it on my other screen here. It looks like Winnipeg just went up 30-0 over the Lions. Kind of torn because I'm a green guy, but it is fun to watch.
Yeah, I don't know. Should I show Paul this banner you made earlier?
Yeah, you probably should. I think I deleted it.
Yes, you did.
I knew that there'd be blackmail if I left that in there.
Oh, yeah. Sounds like I've got kids running down the stairs.
Well, it is informal.
Yep.
So anyone, if you have suggestions on what we could do or what you'd like to see from these types of events or anything that we could bring up or discuss or even future guests for podcasts, please let us know in the comments, and we'll gladly entertain any ideas that anyone has. I guess, can everyone hear us? That would be the first thing. Can you hear us just fine?
I'm assuming so, because that lady from Churchill said yes, we are to the Northern Lights thing. So
oh, perfect.
Volume should be good, I would think. Oh, and on that note, to what Kurtis was just talking about, we do have quite a few awesome guests coming up for the next 11 episodes we already have booked. Hold on, let me take a look here so I can remember who we all have, actually. I know next week we're going to be talking to Travis Farncombe, who is the writer and co-producer of the new 13 Minutes movie. So that one's going to be really exciting. And if you guys have any questions or comments for Travis, definitely let us know in the comments, and we'll try to remember to update our question list. And then from there, we have Braden Morso joining us on November 16th for that recording. If you don't know who Braden is, you probably do, because I chase with him quite often. You probably see his green Jeep on the page quite often, but he's a storm chaser based out of Alberta. He used to be a tour guide for, I think it was Extreme Tornado Tours down in the States. And yeah, just an all around pretty cool guy, and really, really amazing storm chaser. He's one of the smartest people I know. Then after that, on November 30th, we're going to have Jason and Kirsten Harris join us. They are a storm chasing couple out of Darwin, Australia.
So they're going to be up early in the morning to talk to us.
Yep. Yeah. I think our recording time here is 7:00 at night, Manitoba time. And I think for them, it's like 8:30 or 9 in the morning, something like that. So they're going to have a nice early morning with us. They'll be drinking their Australian coffee while chatting with us, I'm sure, beside the beach or something, somewhere in their tropical area of Australia. Jason actually sent me a picture today of him lounging out on a beach chair, palm trees all around him, drinking a iced coffee or something like that. Told him life must be tough living in paradise. But yeah, I met them down in I actually met them almost at the Mexico border in 2019. We were chasing in Texas, and I ran into Thomas Smetana, who is a chaser from Ontario. I ran into him on some windy back road along the Texas-Mexico border, and we were kind of just sitting on the side of the road talking about the storm, and then this car came up. He already knew them from past years, and they pulled up and started chatting, and that's where I met them. And then after that, we have Shannon Bileski joining us. I'm sure almost all of you know who she is. She's another Manitoba storm chaser. We've got her on December 14th. And then on December 28th, which is the day after my birthday, by the way, we have Aaron Jajak. You probably heard us chat about him a little bit during episode 1. Michelle is his fiance. And he's a storm chaser out of the States. I think he originates in Colorado, if I'm not mistaken. And he'll be joining us on December 28th, as I said. Then we got a pretty cool one on January 11th. Chris St. Clair. Many of you probably remember him from the Weather Network. He retired a couple years ago. And yeah, he's a meteorologist or broadcaster for the Weather Network. He kind of reached out to us a couple weeks ago saying he'd be interested in being a guest. So we were pretty excited about that one, because I know I grew up watching him, and I'm sure many of you did. And yeah, we've got Jenny Hagen, Michael Binsky, Reed Timmer, and Jessica Moore all scheduled for the beginning of 2022. So
it's going to be a busy couple months here.
Yeah, I think we got a pretty good lineup. Yeah, that's right, Joe Thomas and his Blue Moose. Kathy says she can hear us just fine.
Perfect. I actually went and found the 13 Minutes official trailer here.
Oh, nice.
Just in case no one or someone hasn't seen it yet, we'll show that here right now.
Yeah, might as well let people know what we're talking about when we say that.
Can you hear the audio?
I'm getting increasingly concerned about this developing supercell southwest of the metro. We expect a tornado outbreak beginning as early as noon.
Get that seed in yet?
We'll be done today.
Tornado warnings are just outside our viewing area. We're under a particularly dangerous situation, Tornado Watch.
Don't worry about this. We're going to get through it. We always do get through it, and we're going to get through it again.
Tornado! Everybody out! Tornado! Follow me this way. Everybody hurry.
Are you sure this is the safest place to be?
Boss, come on!
Do you have any information on a specific location?
It's us.
A tornado warning has been issued.
I know how hard this is, but we've got a whole town counting on us.
This is a 1 in 1,000 type warning.
So yeah, our guest for next week is the writer and co-producer of that movie. And that movie hits theaters October 29th in the US, and I believe it's November 5th in Canada. So we'll be
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, we'll be chatting with him basically right in between the two theater openings. So
Not one flying cow, Adam, you're right. That short clip with a little girl standing on the road looking at the tornado. If you notice on the sides there, you can see debris getting sucked into it, and just everything about it looks so real. I'm so excited for this.
Yeah, me too.
It's going to be fantastic.
Absolutely. Thank you for keeping us all informed and safe. Not a problem, Tracy. Thank you for following along.
And putting up with us.
Oh, yeah. So I guess a lot of you on the page might not even know who Kurtis is. Kurtis, why don't you introduce yourself a little to my followers?
Well, hi, everyone that follows Jordan. Thanks for tolerating me. I'm a storm chaser that just started a couple of years ago here, just before COVID. And as fate would have it, I've basically met up with Jordan on every single one of our chases at one point or another. And since then, we've just kind of become best friends, and things have just been progressively getting cooler and cooler. I hitched my wagon to his train since he does all the cool stuff and knows how to market. I'm just here for the pretty face.
And that radio voice.
Yes, and the radio voice. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. Once I figure out how to quit my nervous laughing, we'll be set. Yes, Joe, you do. You sure do. And we appreciate that.
She keeps us in line once in a while.
She tries her best. She really does.
So, does anybody here have any questions for us? Whether that be about PDS Podcast or basically anything in general. If you need to know where to find the podcast or how to become a supporter or anything like that. As you can probably see across the bottom, becoming a supporter will give you live access to the recordings of the episodes, which basically that means you get to watch us chit chat and whatnot with our guests live, and how do I put it? Basically see it uncut. A lot of the stuff doesn't end up making it into the official show, so
I do have to say we were both on our best behavior though. That first episode
1,
I figured that things were going to really go off the rails, but we kept her on there. I was pretty impressed with us.
I didn't have to cut too much, that's for sure. But yeah, so you can see it uncut live and have the option, or the not the option, but the chance to interact with us live. You can ask your questions in the chat the same way you are right now, and we can bring them up on screen, basically like this. if you have a question for the guest, we can do that and they can answer it and whatnot. How accurate are weather network warnings? Well, that depends. Are you talking about the actual Weather Network TV channel or just weather warnings in general? Because Weather Network has to abide by the same warnings that everybody else does. Environment and Climate Change Canada are the only ones legally authorized to issue weather warnings. And so when that happens, those warnings get forwarded to the Weather Network and then get broadcast from there. So they're basically the same accuracy as any other weather warning that you'll see. Now, as far as Environment Canada's warning accuracy, I'd say it's pretty accurate, except when it comes to maybe tornado warnings. And it's not that they're not accurate with that. It's just more so the broad area that those warnings cover can kind of cause some complacency in people sometimes, just because we have a much different warning system than the United States does down there. It's more of a polygonal warning system where it will only warn the area directly in the path of the storm. Whereas here in Canada, our warnings are issued on a regional basis. So basically, for example, anybody within the Parkland region might get a tornado warning for a storm that's, maybe down by Brandon or something like that. People all the way up in Dauphin might get that warning. So that's where we see kind of an area of improvement that Environment Canada could make if they were willing to.
Yeah, the Canadian warnings are just not localized enough to be
Yeah.
truly effective. I mean, they'll keep you weather aware if
Mhm.
you want to pay attention to every one that comes out. And you should pay attention to every one that comes out.
Yeah, and I think the big issue is you really got to read the warning and listen for where it says the storm is located. Like a lot of times it'll say Environment Canada has noticed a severe thunderstorm so many kilometers away from a certain town that may be capable of producing a tornado or something along those lines. So with Canadian warnings, you really have to listen or read the what's the word I'm looking for?
The text?
Yeah, there we go. I was trying the fine print. That's the words I was looking for. Fine print.
Or you can follow Jordan on Facebook.
Or that works too.
That's probably the safest bet.
I don't know. Sometimes when I'm out chasing, I don't get the opportunity to issue as many or to post as many warnings as I would like to, but I do try my best.
Oh, but if they look at your forecasts and they see that they're in the area and they get a warning, then they can pay attention.
So I just noticed the stars comments aren't showing up in StreamYard. I'm just looking at Facebook here. It looks like a few people have sent us some stars. So thank you to Kathy for the stars, for the 200 stars. Thank you to Tracy for the 530 stars. Thank you to Amber for the 99 stars. Thank you to Carolyn for the 99 stars.
Hey, Carolyn, thanks.
And I think that's all of them I've seen so far. You might notice Kurtis in the comments on the side of StreamYard here, all those blank ones that are showing up, those are people sending stars. So
okay, I was wondering what that was.
Yeah, me too. That's why I went to look at Facebook at what wasn't showing up. So thank you guys for sending stars.
Heather wants to know if you've ever actually been scared. Yes.
Yeah. Definitely have been scared. I'll let Kurtis go first.
Well, the Scarth tornado last year, I know that it was my first one, so I felt like I was too close. Apparently where I was perfect because that's where Jordan ended up. He ended up parking right where I had been parked, but I moved further away. But yeah, I was in those couple seconds I was pretty scared, but I think what scares me the most is lightning. That terrifies me on any chase is the lightning. The storm, the tornadoes, you know where they're going to go for the most part. You know what's going to happen, and you can have an escape route. The lightning, it can strike anywhere. It's makes you scream like a little girl.
Yeah, I'm on par with you on that one. Like tornadoes don't usually scare me. I'm usually, they're easy for me to get around, to know my escape routes and stuff like that. But lightning scares the bejeebus out of me so many times. I remember what year? I think that was 2019. No, it was 2020. It was shortly after Scarth. I was chasing up around Birtle, Manitoba, and I had a lightning strike, a hydro pole, probably maybe 50 feet behind me. I have a video of it, actually. It should be on Facebook and YouTube. And it was just a snap, and you hear the crackling through the lines, and my skin was jittering. Actually, what happened, I had metal framed sunglasses on. It's actually the reason I wear plastic frames on my sunglasses now, because I actually got shocked from my
the
sunglasses.
Static electricity in the air.
Yeah.
So could you smell the ozone?
Oh yeah.
That's just the weirdest smell.
Yeah.
That's burnt air.
Thank you, Zach, for the 310 stars. That's greatly appreciated.
Thanks, Carolyn.
Yeah, thanks.
We appreciate
Carolyn.
that. Hopefully they get better and better. Well, I'm sure we'll get more comfortable talking in front of people.
That's kind of what this whole live stream's about too, I think, is just kind of giving us an opportunity to get more used to being live. Usually when I'm live streaming, I'm behind the camera and not on top of it. So
that's why I like being a photographer, because I'm behind the eyepiece, not in front of the lens.
Yeah, exactly. Although filming under the mezzo this summer kind of got me more used to being on camera than off. So that has definitely helped.
And I refused to get in front of the lens on that one.
No, you were on the lens in front of the lens on episode 4.
But there was a storm. That was different.
Yeah.
So I guess that's something else in case people don't know. Jordan's got a show, and that is it Manitoba.
Westman Communications Group, WCG TV, out of Brandon.
There we go. So they sent a camera crew out with them a few times this year, and a couple busts, but the very last show, episode 4, that's worth a watch. That was pretty cool. That was the one that we ended up southwest of Regina. Sorry, and that was the best day ever. Well, the best day this year.
That was the only good storm I think I got all year. So. This year was terrible for storms just because of that drought and that high pressure ridge to the west. And hey, there it is behind you.
Oh, can we make me solo?
Yeah, let's make you solo there.
There we go. Get all my crap out of the way. Yeah,
that's my shot there, eh?
Yes, that is yours.
Yeah. So that's if we have any fans of the show Corner Gas, you'll probably recognize that elevator. That's the Dog River elevator in Rollo, Saskatchewan. Hello, Deborah from Warren.
I don't think I need that pop screen.
She's watching on YouTube. I don't know if it's my YouTube or your YouTube, but Deborah McCrae from Warren.
Get rid of that altogether. There, that covers way less of the screen.
That's why I have mine down here.
Well, I literally have my laptop sitting on a sump pump box up on my desk so that it's up at eye level.
So yeah, I guess we don't need you taking up all the screen anymore.
Thanks. There we go. I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeVille.
So this is the kind of stuff that you'll see watching the podcast live as a supporter. All these shenanigans from my YouTube. Shit, my YouTube, Kurtis's YouTube, or
She's
or is
watching
she
from Deborah's.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'll reword that. I don't know if she's watching your channel or watching my channel, but she's watching from her channel.
Are we on my channel? Well, we are on my channel.
Yeah, we're on mine, yours, and my Facebook page.
Well, I've got 11 followers, so I guarantee it's one of yours. I'm not even just gonna go out on a limb there.
It's too bad it doesn't show us how many are watching from each thing. I guess we could go click on view on YouTube and see.
Deborah is watching from yours.
Okay.
I just went to yours and it's up there.
Nice. Well, hello, Deborah, either way. Any more questions, guys? Feel free to ask any questions that you want. We're just kind of here to answer your questions. So
if you don't keep us busy, we're gonna, who knows what kind of rabbit hole we'll end up in. We'll probably get in trouble and never be able to be on TV or a podcast or YouTube again. So please save us from ourselves.
Or at least save me from Kurtis.
That's fair. I'll own that. I'll accept that.
Hey, did you see I made a new overlay just for this?
Look at you go.
Yeah, I know. I've been busy. Well, you've been hanging out at Chicken Bacon Ranch.
Yeah. Gotta get it shut down for the winter, buddy.
Yep. I guess I could leave that on for now. We keep switching. Playing tag. What radar app do you recommend for the average person watching weather? So I think any storm chaser that you ask that question to is going to recommend Radar Scope. But at the same time, you say for an average person watching weather, Radar Scope is kind of more advanced.
It doesn't make any assumptions for you. It just gives you the information.
Yeah, so it's a lot more technical than most. I would say if you just want something that you can open up and quickly look at the radar and know what's coming for you, a couple good ones I know are Radar Omega, My Radar,
Windy.
Yeah, Windy's pretty good, and Windy will actually give you a lot of cool other features too, like satellite overlays and as the name suggests, wind barbs and wind direction and everything like that. So that's one of the personal favorites.
Yeah, I think for the average person, Windy would probably be the easiest to consume the information.
Yeah, and they have an app and both a website. I think it's just windy.com, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Joe agrees.
Yes.
Joe's actually the one who showed me about or told me about Windy.
Oh yeah. I'll actually share my screen here. 1 second.
But it's nice because you can get a satellite view, you can get the fire view, you can get all sorts of stuff on there. Oh so yeah, here we go.
Yeah, this is windy.com, and it's a great great website and app. So right now this is showing winds and is it just wind speeds or I don't know.
Depends how you've got it set up. You can configure it however you want.
Yeah. Like right now though, this is just wind speeds and the high pressure, low pressure isotropic lines. But they do have radar and satellite here too, so. And see, this is one of the big differences between using something like Windy or something like, sorry, that lightning was startling me. I wasn't sure what that was. Using something like Windy or comparing it to Radar Scope is you can see all these little circles. This is because Windy is showing you every radar station at the same time, where something like Radar Scope, you have to individually select each radar station and you can only look at that radar station. So something like Windy or any of the other apps that will show you all of the sites at once will be better for a quick look, because you'll be able to say, for example, right now I'm in Manitoba, but I can look over to Saskatchewan very quickly and see that there is some precipitation over kind of east of Swift Current right now. So
I think that's our snow that's coming.
oh, lovely. Have fun with that.
I'm pretty sure that's what that is.
I've been avoiding saying the S word on the page so far this year, and I'm hoping to avoid it for a little longer.
Yeah.
And then they got satellite and all that stuff. So that's probably the best one for an average weather watcher. Not being in the Brandon area, can I watch Under the Mezzo somewhere else? So that really depends. How far are you from the Brandon area, and do you have Westman Communications in your town or anything like that? I believe it shows in, actually, I don't have to think because I can just bring it up. WCG TV. As far as watching it online, it is available for our supporters. So if you're wanting to become a supporter, you can see it on in the Facebook supporters group. But basically, you have to be, unfortunately, a Westman Communications Group customer to watch it if you're not a supporter. And unfortunately, that's not my rules. That's their rules. So, but I'm just trying to see here where it's available again.
Dead air, Jordan. That's not good.
Well, you should be talking while I'm looking here.
Well, I actually want to ask you a question. Ask what Copernicus is. It says Europe's eyes on Earth, and it's on Windy. And I can pick between the GEOS 5 and the CAMS forecast model here now. What is Copernicus? I've never even heard of that one.
Me either. Not
Okay.
a clue.
Good.
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 Copernicus. Yeah, I haven't got a clue what that is. So, according to their website, Westmancom is available in Brandon, Austin, Binscarth, Birtle, Boissevain, Carberry, Dauphin, Deloraine, Elkhorn, Elm Creek, Erickson, Forest, Gilbert Plains, Gladstone, Glenborough, Grandview, Hamiota, Haywood, Inglis, Killarney, McCreary, Melita, Minnetonus, Minnedosa, Minto, Neepawa, Notre Dame, Oak River, Rapid City, Rathwell, Rivers, Roblin, Rossburn, Russell, Sandy Lake, Shiloh, Shoal Lake, Somerset, Souris, St. Claude, St. Lazare, St. Leon, St. Rose, Strathclair, Swan Lake, Swan River, Treeherne, Verdon, and Wawanesa. So if you're in any of those places, you should be able to get it. Like I said, I think you have to be a Westmancom customer. That or like I said, Facebook supporter. It's available in the supporters group.
So we've got a question from JM here.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Jordan and Kurtis, watching from Winnipeg. You asked me to remind you about the Tornado movie, if it's going to be featured on cable, video on demand. Sorry, I'm not sure if it... Oh, yeah, no, that not this live stream. That's on Tuesday when we're live with Travis. He just
Next
wants us...
Tuesday.
Yeah, next Tuesday. Yeah, not this coming Tuesday, but next Tuesday. He just wants us to remind him to ask Travis if it's going to be available on video on demand.
I gotcha. Perfect. I will write that down.
I did see that Travis posted today that it's on, what was it, Apple TV?
Yes. Yeah, his thumbnail was up there on Apple TV.
Yeah, so it's going to be available on Apple TV. That much I do know right now. Kathy, all west of me. Yeah, it's unfortunate that they're not a more widespread communications group, because even me living in Portage, I don't get to watch it on TV. I just have to watch the episodes that they send me in my inbox. So,
But you said that you can watch them if you're a supporter of the Facebook group.
yeah.
So that's
That's
a pretty inexpensive way to go about it.
yeah. It's cheaper than a cable bill, anyways. Crapple TV, Joe says. No problem, JM. And yeah, we'll try to remember to ask them that. But if you do happen to be watching the live stream next Tuesday and you notice we haven't asked them, just feel free to ask in the comments, and we'll remember to do so.
Now you've got me completely sidetracked. I'm looking at the radar. I gotta shut this stuff off. Too many screens.
Let's see, have I missed any other questions? Do you expect, here, let me bring this up. Do you expect an upswing in the number of and size of storms while we have more solar activity, and especially going into the winter season? I personally don't. I haven't seen or heard of a correlation between solar activity and earth storms. What about you, Kurtis?
The only correlation I know is when there's been a good space storm, we always have clouds.
Yeah. That's a correlation of bad luck.
Yeah. But no, I don't think they're related at all from anything I've ever read or heard.
Yeah. It's anything's possible, I suppose, but yeah, I wouldn't expect any change to Earth's weather systems due to more solar activity.
That being said, though, we are getting into a active sun cycle, so hopefully we have some good aurora over the next few months in this winter.
Yeah, so we're just in the first few months of solar cycle 25, which means for the next 5 or 6 years we should see a gradual uptick in solar activity every year. So, and
it's been pretty good already.
Yeah, it started off pretty strong. So I would expect the next few years to get some really good aurora. At least the solar cycle is a 11-year cycle, so probably around 2025 or 2026 we'll kind of peak, and then we'll start seeing a decrease in activity again for the 5 years following that until solar cycle 26 starts.
Talking about shooting the aurora makes my toes hurt. I froze them pretty good last year and just making me grimace thinking about it again.
Oh, there's one night I was up by what's that place called? I don't know, one of the churches that I like to go shoot at, and it was a KP 4 or 5 night, and I was out there for a couple hours and wasn't really seeing much, so I hopped in the car and decided to go home. And then, of course, as soon as I hit the road, I noticed out my window that the substorm started hitting, so I found a place to pull over, and it was just like it was in the middle of a road, and I just, out of instinct, because I had been out all winter in the freezing cold, not really worrying about, water in the ditches. But this was springtime when everything had started melting. So I run through the ditch to go set my camera up, freaking up to my knees in water. I was like, oh, no.
Ah, that's perfect. I remember that night. You were sending me videos of it. Look what I just ran through.
Yeah, that sucked.
But after a fairly lackluster weather spring, I'm looking forward to some solar weather.
Yeah.
Just get out and start shooting something.
Hopefully solar weather with clear skies. We couldn't get clouds all summer, but the least we can do is not get clouds all winter.
Something will be on fire.
Yeah.
But maybe if we can get some moisture, we won't have the fires and we won't have the smoke capping everything next year.
Yeah. And we're allowed to go to the States again. So
Yes.
Tornado Alley in May is a go.
Time to plug Vorticity.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know, which if you're watching, I don't know how you wouldn't know because I post about it quite often, but I run Vorticity Storm Tours, which used to be just called Manitoba Storm Chasers Tours. And we run Tornado Alley tours every May for the entire month. So if that's something you're interested in learning more about, check out vorticitystormtours.com and you can find out basically all the information you need there. We have 3 seats available for each week of May, and obviously 4 weeks for the entire month. And you can book as many seats or as many weeks as you want. Typically, people tend to book the last 2 weeks of May more often. Those tend to be the more active weeks. So just keep that in mind if you are wanting to book and you're wanting to come during the last 2 weeks, you might want to get on it soon just because those are usually the first to go. So, and it says on the website everything that's included, but just a quick overlook of that is your hotels are included in the price, breakfast every morning, and yeah, basically the only thing that wouldn't be included is if you're going to fly down. If you're coming for the first week, you can drive down there with us when we leave, or if you're coming on the last week, you can drive home with us when we leave if you want to save some money on flights. So flights aren't included, and any like snacks or anything like that you want to grab at a gas station or something, obviously that's on you. But other than that, hotels and all everything is basically covered in your price. And yeah, you get if you come for a week, you get 7 days of chasing all over Tornado Alley in the US
in Helicity.
In Helicity, and it's usually a really good time. Like we were talking in episode 1, I had mentioned a couple of the chases from the 2019 Tornado Alley Tour. And there was one day we got like 8 tornadoes within like an hour of each other. It was pretty crazy. That was May 28th, 2019. And yeah, we usually, I know in 2019, we saw a total of, I think, in the entire month that I was down there, 31 tornadoes or something like that.
Just rub it in.
So yeah, that's definitely something you can check out if you're interested in that.
So just before we shut her down here, I'm just trying to find our banner with the social media stuff on it.
One sec, we have a question here.
Oh, perfect.
Question for both of you. Have you ever been caught in a life-threatening situation while storm chasing? I'm sorry I'm asking this after your sales pitch.
That was just for filler.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Life-threatening situation. I wouldn't say I've been stuck in one. Have you?
Not yet, no.
No.
I try really, really, really hard to stay aware of where I am and what I'm doing and what's around me so that I don't.
Yeah. I've I mean, the closest to life-threatening situation I've been in is basically almost getting struck by lightning, like like we were talking about earlier. But yeah, usually, I'm when I'm chasing, in the back of my mind, I'm constantly thinking to myself, okay, what are my escape routes if something goes wrong? And I will rarely ever stop in a position where I don't have at least 3 directions of travel that I can go if I need to. So say, for example, if a tornado was to my south, I would only stop at intersections where I have an east, a west, or a north option, just to try to avoid getting myself kind of backed into a corner in an area that I can't get away from.
And it has to be a decent option, not not
Yeah,
a field road that's something that's impassable once it gets wet. Like you always make sure you've got a good source of or a good path to get out of there.
Yeah, and sometimes that means I miss good photo opportunities, but in my mind, my life is definitely worth more than a good photo. So
I might be pissed that I miss it, but at least I'm alive to take the next one.
Yeah, exactly. Like Scarth, Manitoba, for example, is a good example of that. Is like I first pulled over to the south of that farm that got hit, and I knew that tornado was basically coming right for me. So I quickly, packed up the cameras and avoided taking pictures and got north of the farm. And I stopped a little bit north of the farm and took a few more pictures. But I could feel in the wind that I was in a bad position, even though the tornado was still, quarter of a mile away, half a mile away from me at that time. And I made one more decision to go a little bit further north. Had I not made that decision, there's a good chance that I could have been in a very bad spot and got hit by debris from that one. But it's just basically a matter of always thinking in the back of your head, like, what are my options here if something does go wrong, and just trying to remember to not let what you're seeing distract you from those thoughts.
And your chase vehicle is a little more equipped to escape down some more questionable roads.
Yeah.
I basically need pavement.
Yeah. So for those who don't know, Kurtis drives what we call the Rainbow Wagon, which is
and it is a sexy piece of steel.
A soccer man minivan, a soccer mom minivan. So
2009 Dodge Grand Caravan SE.
But I mean, you've definitely followed me down some pretty sketchy roads in Saskatchewan. But
yes, yeah, it does well.
You may or may not have lost your rear suspension on one chase and stuff, but
you work through
it. But yeah, so like if I was in a car, I would like a 2-wheel drive car or whatever, I would definitely be thinking even more thoroughly about what my options are and stuff. Like when I'm in Helicity, roads aren't really that important because I can get through almost anything in that thing. So that's kind of the reason I made that truck the way I did, was so that I could maybe be a little bit more risky with my road options and stuff like that. But yeah, it's definitely all about being aware of your surroundings and knowing your limitations and stuff like that. And do we have...
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Anybody else got any more questions? Jordan, you were without Helicity for a month. Yes, I was. Yeah, yes, I was. That was...
Thanks for rubbing that in.
Yeah, so this summer, my ECM decided to get water intrusion in it and corroded, and broke down on the side of the road. Thankfully, it was during a week of pretty much no severe weather, so it wasn't that big of a deal to break down when I did. But I basically was a sitting duck on the side of the road while that happened. But I've actually had a couple times where my vehicle is broken down on a chase. One time, what year was that? 2019 in February or March or something like that. I was down in Louisiana in my old 2007 Dodge Ram that I had before Helicity, and it was either a moderate risk day or maybe no, it wasn't a high risk. It was a moderate risk day down in Louisiana, down around Shreveport, I think it was called. And mid chase, storms just started firing. There was a couple tornado warnings around us, and I was going down the highway, and all of a sudden I lost my power steering, and I'm like, what the heck? So I pull off. Thank God, there was a gas station like right off the highway, right where it happened. So I managed to limp over to there and pop the hood and noticed my fan on the front of the engine was sitting like this. I'm like, uh-oh, that's not good. And came to realize my water pump exploded. So I was a sitting duck in Louisiana, had to get my truck towed to a hotel in, what was the name of that town? Rushton, Louisiana. They actually got a tornado that went through there a couple weeks afterwards. Did some major damage. But yeah, anyways, changed my water pump in the hotel parking lot the next morning. Got a Uber down to an auto parts store and got a new water pump and got some tools to replace it. And then I was on my way home the next day. But yeah, the breakdowns are probably the worst thing to happen when you're chasing, that's for sure. And
it's always happens when you want to be somewhere. Like it's not after the chase. It's always on the way to it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you might have been watching Reed Timmer's live stream that day. Actually, it's the same day that he ran out of gas in Louisiana. So my water pump broke, and then I'm at the hotel. Oh, and of course it was pouring rain, so I was soaked by the time I got to the hotel because I had been trying to work on my truck in the gas station parking lot, and got like golf ball sized hail on my back while I was under the hood. But anyways, I'm at my hotel and I'm watching Reed's live stream on Facebook while I'm sitting there drying off and yeah, he ended up and then he ended up running out of gas with a tornado right beside him. So that was a crazy day. Yeah.
That is one thing. I started to carry a jerry can with me.
Yeah. I like to have extra gas, that's for sure.
I don't need much, just enough to get me back to that next town.
Well, especially in like southwestern Manitoba and southeastern Saskatchewan, where all the gas stations roll up their sidewalks at like 6 o'clock.
Yep.
Like a lot of times I'm driving back home on like Highway 2 or 3 at, midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning. There ain't no gas stations open. And I don't have a
card lock, buddy.
Yeah, and I don't have a co-op card lock. So I've been saying for the last like 5 years I should get one, but
they've saved my bacon more than once. I'm terrible for it too. I'll fill up before I leave, or I'll fill up before action happens. But then once things start going off, I quit paying attention to everything except the storm and where I'm going.
Yeah, and then your chase ends and you have like 10 kilometers to empty and you're like, oh crap.
Well, that was this spring when we ended up north of Winnipeg.
Oh yeah. And then we had to stop in like, where did we stop? Stonewall or something like that for gas.
Guys, I'm gonna have to bail on you. I'm gonna fuel. Well, it looks like it might drop, but yeah, I probably have enough. I'm good. Let's go. 60-liter tank, and I put 65 in it.
Yeah, gas. If they could make an extremely long range electric vehicle, I think it would be perfect for storm chasing.
Need one that charges from lightning.
Ooh, that's a good idea. That would work.
Patent pending.
Yeah. Nobody take our ideas from this live stream.
No, that's fine. Take them. We'll take royalties. It's all cool.
Well, that works too. Yeah, especially if they have the resources available to research it. Because I know I don't.
See, now here's the rabbit holes I was talking about. Start going off the rails. But we haven't had a question for a while here, so we'll give it a couple more minutes. And
yeah. If anybody else has any questions before we shut her down, make sure you let us know in the comments, because we'll probably be ending the stream here shortly. I'm scared of tornadoes, so here, I'll bring that up actually. I'm scared of tornadoes, so I live vicariously through your adventures from the safety of home. So I appreciate what you do. Do they have cameras for on top of the roof? Yeah, I use GoPros for on top of the roof. There's quite a few different options of like action cameras and even a few 360 cameras. Show you one I've got right here in my bag actually, but actually I think I have it in my bag. I better not say that.
But any of the GoPro style, they work perfectly for that kind of thing. You can clamp them onto the roof and
Yeah, and they come
hit
with
play,
like,
and
they come with little mounts that that you can attach to your roof, and then you can just clip the camera in or out of it, and it makes it really simple and quick and easy to do.
streaming from them is a little more difficult.
Yeah.
They don't always provide the most reliable connection, but you can always get the recording and then put it up to YouTube afterwards.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not the best for live streaming. There are a couple that work good for live streaming. I think the one is called SJ Cam or something like that. The one brand. Okay. And it's basically a GoPro, just a different brand name, but a lot of people I know, I think it's Ryan Krause used to use them for live streaming. I'm not sure if he still does or not.
Honestly, I think what impedes my live streaming more than anything is
like these will work good on top of your roof. They just have these little mounts that this one is attached to like I use this one for attaching. Wrong screen.
I tried.
I use that one to attach to my bull bar on the front of the Hummer, and then this one has a little mount that it clips into an attachment on my roof of my vehicle. And then this is my
Sorry.
This is my 360 camera. It also has a mount that goes into the that just attaches to the roof, and that gives you like a 360-degree video, which is kind of cool to watch on YouTube and Facebook. Works really good if you have like virtual reality goggles and stuff too. I never got a chance to use that this year, but I used it quite often in 2019. I know one of my videos you can see on YouTube. I'll actually bring it up here for you guys. It's pretty cool.
While you look for that here, I'm gonna. So the JM's asking about the rooftop camera because he would be scared of one coming from straight above. Generally, that's not going to be something that's ever going to happen. At least not if you're out chasing. Because if you're out chasing, you know where the storm's is and where it's going to be and where it's going to drop, within reason. I mean, you might drive into the bear's cage by accident, but then you just turn around and get the heck out of there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not you're usually like
they don't just materialize out of nowhere.
For me chasing, I'm typically I'm typically pretty far away from anything. Hold on, I gotta turn the video down on this volume. It's distracting me. Turn the volume down on this video is what I meant to say. I'm typically a far enough distance away that I'm not at risk of having a tornado come down over top. I'm there to witness it, not to be in it. So I don't want to be like right up under the wall cloud or under the mesocyclone where I would be at risk. There is obviously a chance of like a satellite tornado further away from the main mesocyclone, which is always a possibility, but they're pretty rare. So typically I'm not close enough to have that happen.
And again, there's always the 3 escape routes. So even if something did start to spin up that you would notice, you can get in your vehicle and get gone.
Just going to bring this video up to show how that works. So this is the 360 footage from Tahoka, Texas on May 5th, 2019. And you can see here, I've got this little icon in the top left where I can actually click and move it around. And so I clicked something wrong there, apparently. It actually gets like a full 360-degree view while you're driving. I had it mounted on top of my CB radio, so it was a little bumpy, and it has no image stabilization built into the camera, but it gives a really cool perspective when you're chasing for sure. Like you can see here inside the vehicle and everything, and I just find it neat. And if you had like VR goggles on, you'd be able to just like turn your head and look any direction you wanted. But
that is pretty cool.
Yeah. So then here's when that tornado was just like crossing the road right in front of us. I don't know why it's not. Oh, it's probably because I'm stopped. But yeah.
God, that thing was dusty.
Yes, it was. I'll back it up
My
a little
goodness.
bit.
I think we missed the mark on our Facebook stream, buddy. We should have just been watching your videos.
So yeah, this was like the coolest part of this tornado when it just crossed the highway right in front of me there.
That's wild.
I'll turn the speed up a little bit so it's not taking forever, but yeah.
Look at that freaking ghost train behind it, just suck it in.
Yeah, it was insane. And then like in a couple seconds here, I turn around and there's just dust everywhere. It was like a mixture of a tornado and a haboob.
Wow.
Yeah. And then let's see, when do I turn around here? Probably about here. Yeah. Like all directions, it's just dust sucking into that thing. It was just insane.
If we would have got one this year, that's what it would have looked like.
Probably with how dry it was. Oh, I clicked the wrong thing there. I meant to look off to the side, but yeah, that was absolutely bonkers that day. But anyways, that's what the 360 video gives you. I wish I had that running for Scarth.
Yeah. One more question here was from Joe asking if either of us were afraid of storms growing up. She knows a few chasers were, herself included. I personally have never been afraid of a storm. I've always found them absolutely intriguing and just mesmerizing. I just can't get enough of them.
So I don't personally remember this, but my mom seems to tell me all the time that when I was a little kid, I was terrified of storms and terrified of thunder. And apparently I would go run into her room if it was storming in the middle of the night or something. But so apparently I used to be, yeah. And I'm not sure when that changed from being scared to being in love with, but
about 18.
But yeah, so apparently I used to be, yes.
Well, buddy, what do you think? Should we let these fine folks go about their evening?
Yeah, probably.
The questions seem to have slowed down here, so we might as well
shut
her off so we have something to talk about next time.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, again, if you guys want to catch us next Tuesday live with Travis Farncombe from 13 Minutes, you can become a supporter by clicking that support now button at the top of the page. Otherwise, the edited and cut version will be available the following Saturday.
Please make sure you go to your favorite podcast player and search up the PDS Podcast and subscribe to us.
Actually, the best way to do that is if you go to thepdspodcast.podbean.com. It actually has little widgets there for each podcast app that we're available on. So if you go there, you can just click on the widget and it will take you directly to whatever app you choose. So makes it really quick and easy. Or just search the PDS Podcast on, if you're using Spotify or Google Podcasts, anything like that.
And if you have any suggestions about things you'd like to see or maybe upcoming topics, reach out to us via Twitter at the PDS Podcast. Send us a message or tag us we're open to just about anything.
Yep, pretty much. So, like I said, we have a pretty wicked lineup of guests all the way through February right now. Even into March, we're already booking a couple. So, if you have any guest suggestions, people that you'd like to see on the show, people that you'd want to hear from or want the opportunity to chat with yourself if you're a supporter, even send us a message or an email at PDS Podcast at mbstormchasers.com, and we will gladly try to do our best to get those people on the show for you.
Well, and even if we get some fan mail, maybe we can read it on the next podcast.
That too, yeah. If you have any fan mail or anything like that, feel free to send it to us, and yeah, we'll happily chat about it.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us tonight, everyone. It was a pile of fun, and I'm feeling far more comfortable talking to my microphone and a little picture on my laptop.
All right, guys. Yeah, we'll catch you if you're a supporter. We'll catch you next Tuesday. If not, we'll see you throughout the week somewhere.
See you guys. Have a good evening.